Settle in now and let your body grow heavy. Let the weight of the day fall away, like dust motes settling in a quiet room. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to solve. All that is asked of you is to rest, to breathe, and to listen. Allow the sound of my voice to be a gentle current, carrying you softly towards the shores of sleep. As you begin to drift, let your awareness turn inward to the quiet, hidden world within you. It is a world of constant, silent activity, a universe of processes unfolding in perfect harmony, all without your conscious thought. Tonight, we will journey into one of the most remarkable of these processes. We will explore the silent, elegant miracle of how a bone heals itself. Have you ever considered the life of your bones? We think of them as solid, static scaffolding, the silent, strong framework that gives us our shape, that holds us up against the gentle pull of gravity. And they are that. They are pillars of strength, masterpieces of biological engineering. But they are not inert. They are not like the steel girders of a building. Your bones are alive. They are vibrant, dynamic living tissues. They are constantly changing, remodeling, responding to every step you take, every weight you lift, every gentle movement you make. Within their hard, calm exterior is a bustling, microscopic city of cells, a landscape of intricate structures and flowing channels. Imagine for a moment the inner architecture of a long bone, perhaps in your leg or your arm. The outer layer is the cortical bone, dense and smooth and incredibly strong. It is like polished ivory, a solid tube that provides the primary strength. But inside this tube, it is not empty. The interior is filled with a delicate, beautiful lattice of trabecular bone, often called spongy bone. It looks like a fine, intricate coral reef or a complex, three-dimensional web. This structure is not just for show. It is incredibly strong for its light weight, designed to absorb and distribute the stresses and strains of your daily life. And nestled within the spaces of this delicate mesh is the bone marrow, the soft, rich tissue where new blood cells are born. The entire bone is wrapped in a thin, almost invisible membrane called the periosteum. This sheath is alive with nerves and blood vessels, and it holds a secret, powerful potential for healing. All of this exists in a state of quiet equilibrium, a state of health. But sometimes a force from the outside world is too great. A fall, a sudden impact, and a disruption occurs. A fracture, a break in the continuity of the bone. We will not dwell on the moment itself, for it is fleeting. What is more profound, more worthy of our quiet wonder is what happens next. The break is not an end. It is a signal, a call to action that echoes through the silent, living corridors of the bone. It is the beginning of a story of renewal, a testament to the body's innate and profound wisdom. So close your eyes, if you haven't already. Breathe deeply and slowly, and let us travel into that quiet space to witness the 4 acts of this incredible, silent play of healing. The very first response is almost instantaneous. In a moment of the fracture, the tiny blood vessels that weave through the bone and its protective periosteum are torn. Blood, rich with oxygen and life, begins to flow into the space of the break. This is not a chaotic event. It is a purposeful gathering. Imagine a slow, crimson tide seeping from the broken edges of the bone, filling the gap. This pooling of blood is called a hematoma. It is the foundation upon which all healing will be built. Within minutes, this liquid blood begins to transform. Tiny cell fragments called platelets, which have been circulating peacefully in your bloodstream, are activated by contact with the torn tissues. They become sticky and they begin to clump together, forming a plug. It is a quiet, efficient, and immediate response. As you breathe in, imagine these platelets, these tiny first responders, arriving at the scene. As you breathe out, feel a sense of calm organization descending upon this space. The platelets release chemical signals, quiet whispers that call out to other molecules in the blood. In response, long, fibrous strands of a protein called fibrin begin to form. They weave themselves into an intricate, three-dimensional mesh throughout the pool of blood. This fiber net is like a fine, silken scaffold, trapping red blood cells and more platelets, creating a soft, gelatinous clot. The fracture hematoma is now complete. It has stabilized the area, sealing off the broken blood vessels and providing a preliminary framework to bridge the gap between the bone ends. It is a soft, temporary splint created from the very substance of life itself. The color deepens from bright red to a dark, rich maroon. The texture changes from liquid to a firm gel. All is quiet now. The initial rush has subsided. The foundation has been laid. This hematoma, this quiet, dark clot, is more than just a plug. It is a rich, fertile ground for what is to come. It is brimming with signaling molecules, growth factors that are the chemical messengers of healing. They are released from the activated platelets and from the damaged cells, and they saturate the area, sending out a silent, irresistible call to the rest of the body. This is the inflammatory stage. The word inflammation might sound alarming, but here it is a controlled, essential, and beautiful process. It is the body's way of cleaning the site and preparing for new construction. Within hours, specialized immune cells begin to arrive, drawn by those chemical signals. Imagine them as a team of silent, meticulous caretakers. Phagocytes and macrophages, cells designed to consume debris, move slowly and gracefully into the hematoma. They are not fighting an enemy. They are tidying a workspace. With deliberate, gentle motions, they begin to clear away tiny fragments of dead bone and damaged tissue. They are microscopic gardeners, weeding the soil to make it ready for new seeds of growth. There is no sound, only the slow, rhythmic process of cleansing and preparation. The entire area is being meticulously prepared for the next stage of this incredible journey. This initial phase, the formation of the hematoma and the gentle cleanup, can last for several days. It is a time of quiet organization, of laying the groundwork, of preparing the canvas. Your body knows exactly what to do. It has been perfecting this process for eons. And as you rest, as you sink deeper into comfort, you can trust in this ancient cellular wisdom. You can let go, knowing that these quiet, powerful processes are unfolding perfectly, all on their own. Now, as the cleanup crew finishes its work, a new phase begins. This is the stage of the soft callus. The chemical messengers released into the hematoma have traveled far and wide, and they have awakened other specialized cells. From the deep layers of the periosteum, that living sheath around the bone, and from the endosteum, the lining within the marrow cavity, progenitor cells begin to stir. These are like stem cells, holding the potential to become many different things. They are the versatile construction workers of the body. Guided by the specific chemical signals at the fracture site, they begin to migrate, to move purposefully towards the hematoma. Imagine these cells as tiny, determined travelers, journeying through the tissues toward the site of the break. As they arrive, the chemical environment tells them what to become. Some of these progenitor cells differentiate into fibroblasts. These are Weaver cells. Once they settle into the granulation tissue that has started to form, they begin to produce collagen. They spin out fine, strong threads of this protein, weaving them into a new fabric that crisscrosses the gap. It is like a team of silent spiders, spinning a soft, resilient web that begins to connect the two broken ends of the bone. The web is not random. It is an organized matrix, a soft scaffold that adds more stability to the site. At the same time, other progenitor cells, particularly those farther from the good blood supply at the edges, receive a different set of instructions. They transform into chondroblasts. These are cartilage-building cells. They begin to secrete a rubbery, flexible matrix, creating islands of soft, pliable fibrocartilage within the collagen web. This cartilage is similar to the tissue you have in your nose or your ears. It is firm but flexible, providing a cushion and a smooth surface. So now, the gap is no longer a void filled with a simple clot. It is being filled with a composite material, a mixture of fibrous tissue and soft cartilage. This new structure is called the soft callus. It is a biological splint, holding the bone ends together with a gentle, rubbery firmness. It is not yet bone. You cannot yet put weight on it, but it is a crucial intermediary step. It reduces the movement between the fractured pieces, creating a more stable environment, which is absolutely essential for the next, more permanent stage of repair. Let your mind drift with this image. The silent weaving of collagen fibers, crisscrossing the space like threads of silk. The slow, patient secretion of cartilage, forming soft, white cushions within the fibrous net. New blood vessels, tiny and delicate, also begin to grow into this new tissue, a process called angiogenesis. They are like tiny, pioneering roots, branching and spreading through the soft callus, bringing with them a fresh supply of oxygen and nutrients, and carrying away waste. They are the supply lines for the major construction project that is about to begin. The soft callus grows, swelling around the outside of the fracture and also spanning the gap on the inside. It forms a visible, palpable lump if the bone is close to the skin. This lump is not a problem. It is a sign of vigorous, healthy healing. It is the external evidence of this incredible internal process. This stage of forming the soft callus takes a few weeks. It is a period of quiet, dedicated weaving and building, of creating a soft, flexible bridge where there was once a separation. Your body is a patient and skilled artisan, and it takes the time it needs to do the job right. There is no rush, only a steady, calm, and purposeful progression. As you lie here, breathing slowly and deeply, feel the sense of this patient, creative energy. The energy of renewal, of connection, of making things whole again. This soft callus, this remarkable bridge of cartilage and fiber, has served its purpose well. It has stabilized the fracture, allowing the microscopic dance of healing to proceed in an environment of relative calm. But it is a temporary solution. It is not strong enough to bear the loads of a functioning bone. And so, the body prepares for the third act, the formation of the hard callus. This is the stage where the soft, pliable bridge is transformed into solid, rigid bone. The process is called ossification, which simply means to make bone. The tiny new blood vessels that have now infiltrated the soft callus are key. They bring with them a new type of cell, or rather, they bring the progenitor cells that will become this new type of cell. Guided by a fresh cascade of chemical signals, progenitor cells within and around the callus now differentiate into osteoblasts. These are the master builders of the bone world. The name literally means bone formers. Imagine them as a team of microscopic, diligent masons arriving at the construction site of the soft callus. Their job is to replace the soft cartilage with hard, mineralized bone. They begin their work on the outer edges of the callus and slowly progress inwards. The osteoblasts set to work, first secreting a soft, organic matrix called osteoid. This is primarily made of collagen, but it is a special, organized type of collagen destined to become bone. It is like the masons laying down a layer of special mortar before placing the bricks. Once this osteoid matrix is in place, the osteoblasts orchestrate the next magical step, mineralization. They release tiny vesicles, microscopic packages filled with calcium and phosphate ions, the primary minerals of bone. They carefully control the local environment, causing these minerals to precipitate out of the solution and crystallize within the collagen matrix. Imagine the soft, flexible cartilage bridge being slowly infused with a crystalline substance. It is like watching water slowly freeze into the intricate, solid patterns of ice. A quiet, gradual hardening. A transformation from something pliable to something immensely strong and rigid. This process, where cartilage is replaced by bone, is called endochondral ossification. It is the same process your body used to form most of your skeleton when you were developing in the womb. The body is reenacting an ancient and deeply known developmental process. The new bone that is formed at this stage is called woven bone. It is not the same as the beautifully organized, layered bone of a healthy, mature skeleton. Woven bone is laid down quickly. Its collagen fibers are arranged in a haphazard, crisscrossing pattern, like a basket weave. It is less strong than mature bone, but it is much, much stronger than the soft callus. It is strong enough to make the fracture site stable, to unite the two ends of the bone with a solid, bony connection. As the osteoblasts work their way through the soft callus, replacing it bit by bit with this woven bone, the entire structure becomes rigid. The hard callus is now formed. It is a bulky, irregular collar of new bone that encases the fracture site. It is often larger than the original diameter of the bone, providing extra strength and stability during this crucial healing period. Visualize this slow, silent transformation. The soft, white cartilage gradually being replaced by the hard, pale yellow of new bone. The diligent osteoblasts working tirelessly, laying down their matrix and seeding it with minerals. The structure slowly stiffening, becoming solid. The feeling of stability returning to the core of the limb. This process of hard callus formation is a lengthy one, taking several weeks to months, depending on the size of the bone and the fracture. It is a testament to the body's persistence. It does not tire. It simply continues its work, cell by cell, molecule by molecule, until the bridge is complete and solid. There is a deep, reassuring patience in this process, a quiet confidence as you rest here, sinking deeper into the soft surface beneath you. Allow yourself to feel that same sense of patience and trust. Trust in the slow, powerful rhythms of your own body. Trust in the process of renewal. There is nothing to force, nothing to hurry. Healing unfolds in its own perfect time. The formation of the hard callus is a triumphant moment in the healing journey. The bone is united. The break is bridged by solid, bony tissue. The limb can begin to bear some weight again, gently at first. But the story is not over. If you would look at the bone now, it would be whole, but it would not be perfect. The hard callus is a bulky, somewhat clumsy patch. It is made of disorganized, woven bone, not the elegant, highly structured lamellar bone of a mature skeleton. The shape of the bone is altered, with a large lump at the fracture site. The internal marrow cavity might still be blocked by this new bone. The job is done, but the finishing touches are yet to be applied. And so begins the final and longest stage of healing, bone remodeling. This final act is perhaps the most elegant of all. It is a slow, patient process of sculpting and refining that can last for many months or even years. It is guided by a beautiful principle known as Wolff's Law, which states that bone adapts to the loads and stresses placed upon it. The body is not content with just a patch. It wants to restore the bone to its original shape, its original architecture, and its original strength. This requires a delicate and perfectly coordinated partnership between two types of cells: the osteoblasts, our familiar bone builders, and a new character, the osteoclasts. Osteoclasts are the sculptors, the carvers of the bone world. Their name means bone breakers, but not in a destructive sense. They are responsible for resorption, the process of breaking down and removing bone tissue. Imagine them as tiny, highly specialized artisans, arriving at the site of the bulky hard callus. They attach themselves to the surface of the woven bone and begin to secrete a gentle acid and enzymes. This slowly dissolves the mineral crystals and digests the collagen matrix. They are carving away the excess bone, the parts of the callus that are not needed. They are smoothing the rough edges, slimming down the bulky collar of bone from the outside. They are also tunneling through the bone that is blocking the marrow cavity, slowly and patiently re-establishing the central channel. This process is not random. The osteoclasts are guided by the stresses that the bone experiences as you begin to use it again. Areas of the callus that are not under mechanical stress are recognized as unnecessary, and the osteoclasts are directed to remove them. It is an incredibly efficient system, ensuring that no energy is wasted maintaining bone where it is not needed. As you visualize these osteoclasts at work, see them not as destructive, but as refining. They are like a sculptor chipping away the excess marble to reveal the beautiful form hidden within the stone. They work slowly, methodically, and with incredible precision. But they do not work alone. They work in perfect concert with the osteoblasts. This cellular team is often called a bone multicellular unit, or BMU. As the osteoclasts tunnel through the woven bone, creating microscopic canals, the osteoblasts come along behind them. They line the walls of these newly carved tunnels and begin to lay down new bone. But this is not the haphazard woven bone of the hard callus. This is lamellar bone. It is beautiful, organized, and incredibly strong. The osteoblasts lay it down in thin, concentric layers, like the rings of a tree. Each layer, or lamella, has collagen fibers that are aligned in a single direction. The next layer will have its fibers aligned in a different direction. This alternating pattern creates a structure that is exceptionally resistant to twisting and bending forces. Over months and years, this process continues. The disorganized woven bone of the hard callus is gradually and completely replaced by this new, highly organized lamellar bone. The bulky external callus is whittled away. The marrow cavity is cleared. The bone slowly returns to its original shape and contour. The final result is astonishing. In many cases, after the remodeling process is complete, it is almost impossible to see where the fracture ever occurred. The bone is not just patched, it is reborn. It has been restored to its original, or even greater, strength and elegance. This final stage of remodeling is the quietest and slowest of all. It happens deep within your tissues, long after you have consciously forgotten about the injury. It is a slow, patient dance of resorption and formation, of carving and building, of refining and perfecting. It is your body's deep, innate drive towards not just function, but towards elegance and perfection. As you lie here on the edge of sleep, feel the rhythm of this process. The slow, steady work of the osteoclasts gently clearing away what is no longer needed. The patient, creative work of the osteoblasts building new, strong, beautiful structures in its place. This is the rhythm of deep healing, is the rhythm of rest, is the rhythm of sleep itself. A time of clearing away the debris of the day and building anew for the morning to come. Allow your mind to let go now. Allow your body to sink into this profound state of rest, where its deepest, wisest work can be done. Trust in the sculptor and the mason within. They know exactly what to do. All you need to do is rest. Just rest. Let's return for a moment to that very first stage, the hematoma. Let's linger in that initial quiet. Before the builders arrive, before the weavers spin their threads, there is this moment of profound stillness. The blood has pooled, the fiber net has formed, and within this dark, quiet space, a universe of potential is held. The growth factors, the chemical signals are like sleeping seeds, waiting for the right conditions to sprout. Imagine them, not as chemicals, but as tiny motes of light suspended in the dark gel of the clot. Each mote of light is a message, a piece of an ancient blueprint. A message that says, begin, a message that says, connect, a message that says, become whole. The inflammation that follows is a gentle warming of this fertile ground. The arrival of the macrophages, the cleaners, is like a soft rain washing the soil. They move without hurry, their cellular bodies flowing around microscopic debris, enclosing it, and breaking it down into simple, reusable components. Nothing is wasted in the body's economy. Every broken piece is a resource. Every ending is a new beginning. Feel the gentleness of this process. It is not a battle. It is a quiet, respectful clearing of sacred space. A preparation for a miracle. The body honors the break. It acknowledges the disruption, and then it immediately begins the work of creating something new and beautiful in its place. This is a profound lesson in resilience, a lesson written in our very bones. And as the space is cleared, the first builders, the fibroblasts, begin to spin. Let's imagine a single fibroblast. It has journeyed from the periosteum, that living skin of the bone. It is a small, spindle-shaped cell, and has found its place within the hematoma. It begins to synthesize collagen molecules inside its tiny cellular factory. Then, it exports them, spinning them out into the space around it. The threads are incredibly fine, yet immensely strong. One thread joins another, and another, and another. A network begins to form. It is a slow, patient act of creation. Another fibroblast nearby is doing the same, and another. Soon, their threads begin to intertwine. They're weaving a blanket of protein, a soft, strong fabric that will cradle the broken ends of the bone. As you breathe in, imagine this soft, white fabric being woven. As you breathe out, feel the growing connection, the gentle pulling together of what was separate. At the same time, the chondroblasts, the cartilage makers, begin their work. Imagine them as potters, working with a different kind of clay. They secrete a matrix of proteoglycans, complex molecules that attract and hold water, creating a firm, hydrated gel. This is the substance of cartilage. It is smooth, resilient, and pearly white. It forms in little islands, like soft pillows scattered throughout the fibrous blanket. This combination of fiber and gel, the soft callus, is a masterpiece of temporary biological design. It is strong enough to hold things together, yet flexible enough to allow for the slight movements that stimulate the next phase of healing. It is a bridge built of silk and jelly, and it is exactly what is needed at this moment in time. The new blood vessels that grow into this soft callus are a wonder in themselves. They're called capillaries. They're so tiny that red blood cells must pass through them in single file. Imagine these tiny, red rivers branching and extending their reach, bringing the precious cargo of oxygen to the hard-working cells. They're the lifelines of this whole operation. Their growth is guided by chemical signals, ensuring they go exactly where they're needed most. The entire fracture site, which was once a dark, stagnant pool, is now becoming a vibrant, living tissue humming with quiet, metabolic activity. It is a landscape transformed, from a site of disruption to a bustling, yet silent, workshop of creation. And all of this happens while you rest, while you sleep. Your conscious mind is not required. Your body holds this wisdom intrinsically. It is a gift, a quiet, constant miracle that you carry within you. Now, let us turn our attention back to the osteoblasts, the masons of the hard callus. Let's imagine their work in even greater detail. An osteoblast settles onto the surface of the soft cartilage scaffold. It is a plump, cuboidal cell, rich with the machinery needed for protein synthesis. It begins to lay down the osteoid, the unmineralized bone matrix. It lays it down in a thin layer. Then it moves slightly and lays down another layer next to it. It is like a tiny paver, laying down paving stones of this soft, collagen-rich substance. Some osteoblasts work so hard that they become trapped in their own secretions. When this happens, they're not lost. They transform. They become osteocytes. They send out long, thin, branching arms that connect with other osteocytes, forming a vast communication network throughout the bone matrix. These osteocytes are the live-in caretakers. They are the sensors that will later detect mechanical stress and direct the final remodeling phase. They are the builders who have become the guardians of the new structure. And then comes the mineralization, the quiet hardening. Imagine the spaces within the collagen framework of the osteoid. The osteoblasts have seeded these spaces with tiny crystals. Now, calcium and phosphate ions, drawn from your blood, begin to attach to these seed crystals. The crystals grow. They interlock. They form a solid, mineral lattice. The soft osteoid becomes hard bone. It is a slow, chemical precipitation, a silent, beautiful crystallization. There is no heat, no noise. It is a cold, quiet process of solidification. The woven bone of the hard callus spreads, replacing the cartilage, engulfing the fibrous tissue until the entire callus is one solid, bony mass. It is a fortress of healing, a bulky, powerful testament to the body's ability to secure and protect itself. Feel the deep, reassuring solidity of this stage. The feeling of something becoming immovably strong. The feeling of union. The bone ends are no longer separate entities. They are one, joined by this powerful, bony weld. This is a moment of profound success in the healing journey. It is a peak from which we can look forward to the final, gentle slope of refinement and remodeling. But for now, let's just rest in this feeling of strength and stability. The feeling of a difficult job well done. The body has built its fortress. Now, it can take its time to turn that fortress into a palace. And so, we arrive again at that final, masterful stage, remodeling. Let's spend more time with the osteoclasts, the gentle sculptors. Imagine a single osteoclast. It is a very large cell with multiple nuclei. It moves like a slow amoeba across the surface of the woven bone. It finds a spot and it settles down, forming a tight seal against the bone surface. Underneath its body, it creates a sealed-off microenvironment. Into this tiny, acidic pool, it pumps protons, making the environment acidic enough to dissolve the calcium phosphate crystals. It also releases enzymes that gently dismantle the collagen fibers. It is a process of controlled, microscopic demolition. The osteoclast carves a small pit called a Hauschip's lacuna, and then it moves on to carve another pit nearby. This is not a destructive rampage. It is a highly targeted, intelligent process. The osteoclasts are removing the bone that is structurally inefficient. They're removing the bulky, external parts of the callus that are no longer needed for stability. They're clearing the path for a more elegant and efficient structure to be built. They're the masters of subtraction, creating beauty by taking away the non-essential. It is a quiet, patient, and essential art. And in their wake come the osteoblasts again. But this time, they are not in a rush. They are not building the emergency structure of woven bone. They are building the final, permanent lamellar bone. They follow the path cleared by the osteoclasts. They lay down their osteoid in exquisitely thin, organized sheets. The concentric rings of new bone, the osteons, are formed with architectural perfection. Each one is a cylinder of strength, aligned perfectly with the lines of force that the bone experiences. As you begin to walk and move, you're sending messages to these cells. The pressure on the bone tells the osteoblasts where to build and how to align the new tissue. You are, in a very real sense, helping to guide the final sculpting of your own bone. Your movement is a conversation with your cells. This conversation, this dance between osteoclast and osteoblast, between resorption and formation, continues for a very long time. It is the constant, quiet hum of life within your skeleton. Even in your healthy bones, this process is happening all the time, replacing old bone with new, ensuring your skeleton remains strong and healthy throughout your life. In the case of a healing fracture, this process is simply accelerated and intensified. The body focuses its remodeling efforts on the site of the injury, working diligently month after month to restore it to its original state of perfection. Imagine the final result. The bulky callus has vanished. The surface of the bone is smooth and continuous once more. The internal marrow cavity is open and clear. The bone is as strong, or even stronger, than it was before the break. It holds no memory of the injury, only the wisdom gained from the process of healing. It is a testament to the quiet, relentless, and beautiful power of nature, a power that resides within you at this very moment. As you drift now, closer and closer to sleep, let go of all effort. Let go of all doing. Surrender to this deep, innate wisdom. Your body knows how to heal. It knows how to rest. It knows how to renew. All you need to do is provide it with the gift of your own deep, peaceful, and restorative sleep. Breathe in calm. Breathe out tension. Let the story of the bone be your lullaby. A story of resilience, of patience, and of the quiet, miraculous power of life itself. Let your awareness soften and expand. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest with each breath. Each breath in is a wave of calm, washing over you. Each breath out is a release, a letting go. Let's drift back one more time into the microscopic world of the healing bone. But this time, let's focus on the unseen forces, the silent communication that makes it all possible. The language of the cells. This language is not spoken in words, but in molecules. Growth factors, cytokines, hormones. They are the messengers, the directors of this entire symphony of healing. When a fracture first occurs and the hematoma forms, the platelets release a burst of these messengers. Platelet-derived growth factor, or PGF, transforming growth factor beta, or TGF-beta. These molecules drift through the clot, binding to receptors on the surfaces of other cells, like a key fitting into a lock. When a key fits, it turns and a message is delivered. The message might be divide, or migrate, or differentiate. It is an incredibly precise and elegant system of communication. The progenitor cells in the periosteum are listening. They have receptors for these messages. The message they receive is clear: come to the fracture. We need you. And so they begin their journey. As the inflammatory cells, the macrophages, clear the debris, they also release their own set of messages. They release cytokines like interleukin-1 and interleukin-6. These molecules help to orchestrate the cleanup, but they also send signals that will be crucial for the next stage. They're like foremen on a construction site, coordinating the demolition crew, while also signaling to the scaffolding team that it's almost time to begin their work. This web of communication is complex and beautifully balanced. There's a constant feedback loop. The presence of one type of cell and its molecular signals influences the arrival and behavior of the next. It is a self-organizing system of profound intelligence. When the fibroblasts and chondroblasts are building the soft callus, they are also communicating. They are responding to the local mechanical environment. The slight movements at the fracture site create strains within the tissue, and the cells can sense this. This mechanical signal tells them where to build and how much to build. If there is too much movement, they will produce more soft callus to try to stabilize it. If there is very little movement, it signals that the environment is stable enough for the osteoblasts to begin their work. The cells are not just following a pre-programmed script. They are actively reading their environment and responding to it in real time. Then, as the new blood vessels arrive, they bring not only oxygen, but also new messengers from the rest of the body. Hormones circulating in your blood, like growth hormone and thyroid hormone, play a supportive role, ensuring that the cells have the metabolic energy they need to perform their demanding tasks. The availability of nutrients is also a form of communication. The presence of calcium and phosphate in the blood is a message to the osteoblast that the raw materials for mineralization are available. Your diet, your overall health, all of it contributes to this conversation. It is a holistic process involving the entire body in the support of this local healing event. This constant, silent chatter of molecules ensures that the 4 stages of healing flow seamlessly one into the next. The end of the inflammatory stage triggers the beginning of the soft callus stage. The maturation of the soft callus and the growth of blood vessels trigger the hard callus stage. And the establishment of bony union and the return to mechanical loading trigger the long, final remodeling stage. It is a perfect cascade, a chain of events where each link is forged by this silent chemical language. As you lie here, resting, this silent language is flowing through you. Your cells are constantly communicating, maintaining balance, repairing, and renewing. The process of bone healing is a dramatic example of this, but the same principles apply to the quiet, everyday maintenance of your entire being. There is a deep, abiding wisdom in this cellular conversation, a wisdom that you can trust. You do not need to understand the chemical names or the intricate pathways. You can simply rest in the knowledge that this intelligence is at work within you. Feel the peace that comes with this trust, the peace of letting go, of allowing your body to do what it knows how to do so well. Let this feeling of deep trust be your anchor, holding you steady as you drift further and further into the calm, quiet sea of sleep. Let's imagine the texture of this journey. The initial hematoma is a soft, deep, quiet cushion. It is the texture of stillness, of potential. Then comes the soft callus. Imagine the feeling of a fine, silken thread being pulled from a spool. The delicate strength of the collagen fibers. Imagine the texture of the cartilage, smooth, cool, and resilient, like polished stone from a riverbed. The soft callus is a landscape of gentle hills and valleys, a soft, living sculpture that bridges the gap. There's a feeling of hope in this texture, a feeling of new connections being made. Then, the hard callus forms. The texture changes. It is the feeling of sand becoming sandstone, of water becoming ice. A gradual, profound shift from yielding to unyielding. Imagine running your hand over the surface of this new woven bone. It would feel rough, porous, like a volcanic rock. It is a texture of raw strength, of functional power. It is not yet refined, but it is solid. It is dependable. It is the feeling of safety, of a foundation that will not fail. The bone is whole again, and this texture is the proof. Finally, the remodeling phase. The texture becomes one of supreme smoothness and elegance. The osteoclasts are like a fine-grit sandpaper, slowly smoothing away the rough patches. The osteoblasts are like a final coat of polish, laying down a surface that is sleek, dense, and perfectly formed. The final texture is that of the original bone, like polished marble. It is cool, smooth, and speaks of a quiet, deep, and ancient strength. A strength that has been tested and renewed. A strength that is now a part of you. This progression of textures is like a journey through different landscapes, from a quiet lake to a silken forest to a rugged mountain range, and finally to a smooth, polished temple. Each landscape is beautiful and necessary for its time. Each texture is a part of the story of healing. As you sink into your own comfortable resting place, feel the textures around you. The softness of your pillow, the weight of your blanket. Let these sensations ground you in the present moment. Let them remind you of the comfort and safety of your own space. And from this place of safety, let your mind be free to drift, to wander through the inner landscapes of your own body, a world of constant, quiet, and beautiful transformation. Let's consider the scale of this process. We have been talking about cells, molecules, and microscopic structures. It is a world that is invisibly small, yet its results are profoundly tangible. A single osteoblast is about 20 to 30 micrometers in size. 1,000 of them could fit on the head of a pin. Yet trillions of these cells, working together, build and maintain the 206 bones of your entire skeleton. The collagen fibers they spin are thinner than a human hair, yet when woven together, they have a tensile strength greater than steel. It is a paradox of nature. Immense strength arising from infinitesimal smallness. A grand architectural project carried out by a microscopic workforce. It is humbling to consider. It reminds us that the most powerful processes are often the quietest, the most subtle. The healing of a bone is not a loud, dramatic event. It is a silent, cellular epic. An opera of biology where the singers are too small to see, and the music is the silent vibration of chemical bonds forming and breaking. As you lie here, your body is performing countless such microscopic miracles. Your heart cells are contracting in perfect unison. Your neurons are firing in intricate patterns, creating the very thoughts and feelings that are drifting through your mind as you fall asleep. Your digestive system is quietly breaking down your last meal into the molecules that will fuel tomorrow's energy. Your immune system is silently patrolling, keeping you safe. It is all part of the same deep biological wisdom. To trust in the healing of a bone is to trust in all of it. To trust in the small, the quiet, the unseen. It is to understand that you're not just a mind that thinks, but a body that knows. A body that is a self-organizing, self-healing community of trillions of cells, all working together in breathtaking harmony. Let this thought be a comfort to you. You are held by this wisdom. You are supported by this incredible internal community. You can relax. You can let go. You can allow the quiet, microscopic artisans within you to do their work. They need your rest. They thrive in your peace. Give them this gift. Give yourself this gift, the gift of deep, profound, and healing sleep. Think of the sounds of this process, or rather, the silence. There is no clang of hammers, no roar of machinery. The arrival of the immune cells is a silent, flowing tide. The weaving of the fibroblasts is as quiet as a thought. The hardening of the callus is a slow crystallization, a process with no sound at all. The carving of the osteoclasts is a gentle, molecular dissolving. The building of the osteoblasts is a silent, patient layering. The entire construction site is one of profound and peaceful silence. This is the nature of deep biological work. It is not forceful or loud. It is efficient, elegant, and quiet. It unfolds according to its own inner rhythm, a rhythm that is in harmony with the great, slow cycles of nature itself. It is a rhythm that you can tune into as you prepare for sleep. Let go of the noises of the day, the conversations, the traffic, the notifications. Let them all fade away. Tune your inner ear to a deeper frequency, the frequency of your own breath, the slow, steady beat of your own heart, the profound silence of your cells at work. This is the sound of healing, is the sound of rest, is the sound of peace. In this deep, inner silence, there is no room for worry or anxiety. There is only the simple, profound truth of the present moment. The truth of your body, resting. The truth of your breath, flowing. The truth of your cells, working in quiet harmony to restore and renew. Let this silence envelop you. Let it be a soft, warm blanket. Let it hold you and keep you safe as you drift off into a deep and peaceful sleep. There is nothing more you need to do. There is nothing more you need to know. Just rest in this beautiful, healing silence. Let the story of the bone dissolve into the background, leaving only a feeling of wonder, of trust, and of deep, deep calm. Sleep now. Sleep well. Your body is taking care of everything.